really interesting. Wow. Yeah, really interesting how he considered the fold so heavily because people just under bluff in these $400 tournaments. It's really, really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, what are his bluffs? You know, like if we really think about it, like sure, ace high, like ace high has some showdown value if you had ace five, and when he raises the turn with maybe some backdoor diamond draw or something like that, he actually gets called in on this kind of board. Like, what hands do you have that you're folding?
And it's gonna have some misdraws and things too. So I think calling is the only option myself. Let's see if Boogaloo got away from it. Ooh, call is 6.
So this is close between call.
Really interesting. So call is 6, raise is 7,500 is 10 points. And I'm going to say he said that because this is a very bad player. And so he thinks the very bad player is going to stack off here with worse queens a lot. I'm going to guarantee that's what he's going to say. Very interesting, though. I thought call for sure was the right answer. I never am in this spot. I don't know. Interesting spot, too. I think this is a little bit of a lesson for everyone out there, too. A lot of times, the hands we want to float with, like this one, are better as raises. So this kind of falls in that category.
Yeah, and he was kind of an echo chamber for us there, saying, you know, we just get better hands to call and worse to fold. Yep. Like, he's going to have some gut shots in his range. He's going to have spade draws. He's going to have king X. And we kind of, I mean, we kind of identify kind of what cards are going to be bad for us on future streets. And we're aware how to proceed on those cards.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, that's a very good point, man. You right.
That was the best. You didn't say anything. You won. Just straight up.
You won. I'm just
All right, so ooh, look at this. You're not opening this. You just looked at this. You're not opening.
Button cut off, hijack, low jack, under the gun one. You are right.
Come on now. Okay. I am. So let's see if he.
He's got to open it, or there wouldn't be a hand.
You wouldn't be
I'm
a
already
quit.
down on points.
You're already down on points in real life. Now, obviously, you're gonna cheat, but
I'm gonna evolve.
you're gonna adapt, right?
All right, let's play it.
I'm going to cry if he says he's folding here. Like, if he's like, yeah, you should be folding this in this kind of tournament, and you were actually right. All right, cool.
Wah, wah.
Ah!
Yes! I just want to say for the record that this is the best 3-point score I've ever gotten in my life. Because the right answer was fold!
Right? But you heard what he said about the tables. This is a 3K.
Here comes the excuses. 10
The
points
excuses
fold.
to
It says
open
right
if your
here.
table is particularly tight and weak. Welcome to the $5 2K world. I mean, you know, the $11 10K. I'm opening this, yeah, for sure.
This is the best 3 points of my life.
That's hilarious. And everybody's 50.
nailed it. What the hell kind of play is that from King Queen? Who in the who does that?
Who the hell? Yeah, so my dog.
Jonathan Little's an absolute crusher, so it's nice to have him.
Yeah, I agree, and I
He's
always
just
love
coaching.
playing right after sessions like this because I feel like my brain's warmed up. I'm thinking through things, and so it's a good way to start your session for sure.
Right. All right, guys, this is it.
What's up, Mike? You want to give a gist? He was saying Narco Cop was playing about depipping about 28% of hands. He had been very aggressive in this $10 buy-in, and here are the options: to fold, to call, to raise to 1,200, raise to. What? Wait a minute. He made it 800, and my man's giving options to 12 and 1,400 ounces. So it's already getting kind of spicy. That's so nasty. To be on a site with these other crushers, you know, well-known poker public figures is pretty exciting. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I didn't mention that when I was kind of giving a little intro here too. You know, Assassinato, Matt Affleck, John Little, all coaches on the site, so very highly respectable, quality poker content.
Yep, Evan Jarvis as well. You know, remember Evan Jarvis, Matt Affleck, Assassinato, John Little.
Yeah, so I guess that just makes sense. He just have the ace of clubs in his hand. That's interesting, though. I
How
thought
many
that was
points you got?
interesting.
You didn't do that bad. 45.
I like how you just pat me on the back. You didn't do that bad. Well, yeah, good job, buddy. Like,
The back.
I remember I got the higher score in the first one. So, you know, we're 1 for 1, buddy.
I just want to know.
Calling, guys. Let's see if we're good.
Similar situation.
That's pre-flop? I think it's pre. Alright, guys, we're checking, I guess. Oh, for fuck's sake.
One of the things I see people when it comes to poker is when people get to the turn and they send out the
When you're facing a min raise or just a touch more than a min raise, and there's an ante in play, which is going to be the case in most tournaments, I think, going forward, you want to defend pretty wide. If your opponent's making a 2.
All right, cool. You're going 1,400.
I'm going 1,400, guys.
I'm gonna go call with the arm and just see what happens.
Alright, and...
I would fold in game though, for the record, in case that's the winning end.
You won. You win. I have to concede. You win.
14K.
14K, let's do it.
Well, no, we cannot win. This is a pretty rough spot because damn it.
Mm-hmm. Where do you gonna get my chat? They like naughty things. They like just beer, alcohol, you know.
All right, let's do I can do a $10 ACR giveaway.
A $10 ACR giveaway courtesy of my man Toe. For me beating that ass heads up in this. Sorry. No, I'm kidding. We'll do this. We'll have to do it at least once a week, man. And then, you know, we'll do it every week a couple times.
So it's a tie.
I guess we got to give out $10 to each other's communities. We'll just do our own $10 free roll for each. Or does that sound fair?
Yes. You know what this means.
You win. I give his chat $10. Take it.
So that's cool because we have 2 ties and then a win from you and a win from me. This is like the epic battle. It's perfect. It's great.
Yeah, we're even Stevens.
This is awesome.
Take it.
I love it.
You know,
Stop. We got a giveaway going. Let's run the giveaway for the $10 ACR winner. Closing the giveaway. Drawing the winner. My man Sebs are getting the $10 ACR giveaway for this one. What up, party people? We are live for the study stream. Flying solo again. Sixes. I think this is his last day of vacation. I texted him. I sent him a Skype message. He ghosted me. So we're flying solo in this sucker. What's happening, folks? How y'all living? Beats, CZ, Contrast. What's up? Good morning. Contrast out there making some deep runs. Hey, nice. Let the exploiting go. Let's pick a quiz. While I'm picking a quiz, guys, this is the study stream. Exclamation point PC in the chat for you to sign up for free to pokercoaching.com. You get 100 blind charts for 100 blinds or more, a handful of quizzes, and some homework assignments. If you sign up for the premium, there is Sixes texting me. Oh, shit. I texted the wrong person. I guess I have Mark as Sixes in my fucking thing. What the fuck?
texted the wrong person. Anyways, sign up for free, fuckers. Exclamation point, PC Discord for you to get into the Pro Coaching Discord, which is also free. There's 4 study groups there a week. There's a hand history room that I'm really active in there all the time. You should check it out. There's giveaways every week, so that is free. Get in there and do that. The way this study stream is going to work is I'm going to draw 2 winners if you're new. Have you guys compete in one of these quizzes. Whoever wins the quiz, whoever gets the highest points, will then get $5. Easy peasy. Super easy. Sorry, I'm multitasking poorly and getting text messages. Holy shit. It's a shit show like usual. So yeah, there you go. Put coaching in the chat, guys. Put coaching in the chat. We'll draw a winner. We'll draw 2 winners. We'll have you guys compete. I'll give you $5. It'll be a good Saturday. Life is good. Get in there. Shit. What up, Brian? Good morning. How are you guys doing that? Be Money in the house, what up? Dennis out there, Kosim, what up? Jax, Bad Hand, what up? You like my adverts? The update, sign up for some shit. Fuckers. The consummate professional. Praying out there. Boss mode. One hand fucking studying. Out there all willy-nilly while eating a sandwich. All right, while you guys are doing that, I'm going to pick a quiz. We're going to come down here toward the bottom of the list. And probably pick up Tristan Wade first in his series that he's been running. Did it. Lexi, Assassinato, Cat. Up there we go. $16.68. Quizzes. $16.68. Put this shit here. All right, WSOP 6 max. Multi-way. This could be a good one. All right, that's good enough. Let's draw some winners. Wang, bang, bang. Contrast. Number 1. On the main screen. Jesus Christ, people. Winner number 2. Bang. Kosin, the global legend. All right, guys. You know how this is going to work. We'll have contest up here on the main screen. I got a second screen going where I'll keep scores too. They're going to be a little jacked up on the monitor because when you have 2 browsers open, you're taking the same quiz. It kind of freaks out. So I'll keep the scores here and let's roll it.
Hey there, Poker Coaching. It's your coach, Tristan Wade. And here with another quiz from the 3K6 max. So in this hand, we raise under the gun with ace-queen suit, or ace-queen offsuit, excuse me. And we get 3-bet by the button for 6,500. And the big blind flat calls the 3-bet. So I want you to consider this pre-flop spot and think about what you would do here. Would you fold? Would you call? Would you 4-bet to 18.5? Or would you go all in?
Sorry, guys. Now we're misclicking all over the place. Give me a break here. No. I think we're good. What happened? Cool. Ace Queen. 63 bigs deep. There is a button. No. We open. Get 3-bet. And the big blind calls. God damn. Kosin calling. Beats calling. Jerome, good morning. Fuck Jerome. I think I did reply to you. But you can call me anytime after this. If I didn't. 4-bet fold, says B Money. I'm going to pull up the charts here. Because I think what I do. Might be crazy. Button cutoff 4, under the gun 3 open. We're about 30 effective. When we open, button cutoff 4, 3, under the gun 3, button cutoff 4, 3, button 3 bets, big blind calls. The fuck? Oh, okay. Coast and jamming, contrast is, I'm sorry, coast and jamming. Coast and calling and contrast both calling. Monkey Man likes the 4-bet bluff. Suited jam, offsuit, 3-way call. Says contrast. BB doesn't have any flats here off the charts. That is a good question. I mean, they have very few flats here, but it's an unknown amateur, so. Four by fold, priced in. Ooh, good conversation already. Good conversation already. Jack says priced in if you fucking 4-bet. In game, P-Money says he's folding. I thought I was folding too. I definitely fold here with the 3-bet and the call from the big blind. I fold here actually pretty good amount. That said, this is our, so no 3-bet, no jams, no 4-bet, non-jams. We are mixing some 4-bet with ace queen, 64-35 here, and then some flats with our pairs. And the rest of this red is all jam. Does the big blind have a flatting range was a question. Bang. I mean, there's a sliver. This is what they're supposed to be flatting. But in reality, they're going to be flatting. Someone to say it's 10 ace jack suited. Definitely this king stuff of suited paint here. They're going to be over flatting some of these pairs. And then maybe something like ace jack off and ace 10 off. You know, the amateurs. So we should call here, basically, is what it said. And I would have probably folded. I wonder if we change this to, instead of a low jack opening, like under the gun 1 opening, button 3-bet, big blind has no calls in that scenario. So it just breaks the sim. Okay. Cool. Both contestants calling. Let's find out. What's up, Lorak? How you doing, buddy? Caught the sliver. I mean, that's a sliver. All right, let's call and find out.
So I think
Ooh, he likes the 4-bet jam.
A really close spot.
Ooh, and it's a 1-question quiz, so we'll roll right into another one.
Range. So both of these players are amateurish and unknown, so I don't have a whole lot of information. But I do see that the 3-better has 40 bigs, and they were on the button. And I see that the flat caller in the big blind only has 30-ish bigs. And he should really have some stronger hands that need protection that just want to go all in and play their hand a little more aggressively. I feel like his calls here are pretty weak. So once the big blind flat calls here and puts that extra 6.5 bigs out there, there's now nearly 17K out there, and this pot becomes something worth fighting for. So those are the big 2 considerations here. The flat call from the big blind and what his range is, and then the 3-better's range. And if the 3-better has any bluffs or any value hands that are worse than my hand, I think this becomes a pretty clear spot for us to try to be aggressive and pounce on this pot. So folding is not an option here. Calling is a 5-pointer. Calling is just not going to be that great of a play multi-way when you're out of position to one player when someone will have a pot-sized bet left in front of you. Raising to 18.5 is okay. I give that 6 points. That's my second favorite option. If you wanted to just go for a 4-bet to try to get it in, I think that's fine. But you leave the door open for the button to still jam some hands that maybe they might fold if you jam. So that's the strategy I went with here. I went all in. I feel like that's the best play. Sure, we might be up against a big hand from the button, but we have the
Jesus,
nice
just
hand
in
to start
2
with.
minutes left in
If
this
the button
goddamn
has
explanation.
tens or jacks, we're flipping. If the button has any bluffs, then great, we're making an aggressive play for 17 big blind pot. And then if the big blind happens to call with a strong hand, I think the strongest hands we're going to see from the big blind are tens, jacks, or maybe even queens if they're really amateurish and weren't comfortable just jamming, which I feel like kings, queens, and aces are just getting you more money here, even from amateurs. So I would be a little scared of ace-king sometimes here, but I think most people know to get an ace-king pre-flop anyways. So I think this is kind of a slam dunk spot to just jam it and rip it. And that's what we did. We get a fold from the button, which is nice to see because I feel like they should have the stronger range of the two players, and the big blind should really have a weaker range.
Sure.
And after the big blind tanks a little bit and tells me that they think I have the best hand, and I tell them I hope so, they end up calling with two jacks, and we win the flip. So my hopes came true with the flopping of an ace. So all around, I think it's okay.
Spit it out, Tristan.
By jacks, but I think that's better if they're deeper. If we all have like 60 bigs here, then I think that makes a lot more sense to not get in two jacks for 60 bigs against under the gun and a button 3-bet and for that many chips. But when you have 30 bigs, if I'm opening a wide range and this person's 3-betting some bluffs, you just want to jam, and I think them not jamming here costs them the pot, because if they would have jammed 30 bigs, I would have had to fold my ace-queen, and I'm sure the button probably would have released their hand too. So, yeah, the lesson here really is knowing when to pick your spots as a short stack and what hands should or shouldn't be going all in. Hopefully you enjoyed this little pre-flop scenario, and I'm out.
Yeah, so interesting enough here. One, if you think the amateur is flatting too wide and too weak, jamming just becomes way more appealing, right? Because there's a bloated pot now, and we just have to get through the 1-3-better who's going to have some 3-bet bluffs in their range. So I love the jam here, actually. I think, looking back at it, listening to Tristan, I think that's awesome. The jack should have jammed, obviously, and it goes to show you about these live cats, man. I noticed this a lot when I was playing live in the series, a few weeks ago, where, like, he flatted, and then he's like, I think you have the best hand here, right? Like, Jack's struggling and timing down and putting themselves in these weird spots. I saw a guy do that with fucking queens, and he was going to fold these queens. He last minute called, but he had his hand halfway in the muck. Like, people making these weird folds and weird plays. It's really funny. 1679. We're going to roll right into another Tristan Wade quiz and keep the same two contestants because that was a long-winded one quiz situation. So let's roll right into it and find out.
What's up, poker coaching? Tristan Wade here with another hand from the 3K6 Max. In this hand, the title says it all. I have aces in the big blind. Action folds around to the small blind who limps. What should you do here? Should you check? Should you bet 7,000 or bet 10,000?
Real quickly, it's a good idea for the button to bluff as a 3-bet there. If we look at what their chart should be, they don't have a ton of bluffs, but like a little king 9 suited, queen 8 suited, some of this stuff, some of these weaker ace X's, hands like ace jack, which could think it's value, but when they get 4-bet, they start to fold that. Ace 10, king 10, so there's a little bit of bluffing here, right in this range. Not a lot. Not a lot. Snap, open rip, 40 bigs. 7K. Starting to roll in here. Contrast going 7. Jerome being sneaky and checking. 7 for Cousin. Both contestants in. Probably make it 6K in game, says Peanut Flush. Never 10, says Praying. Lots of 7s, lots of 7s, lots of 7s. Yeah, 7 kind of standard. Honestly, 4x is kind of the industry standard here. So 8 would be better. 3 is okay, but you kind of want to go bigger here. Being that you really want to try and narrow the range. 3.5 is fine, be money. It's fine. Cool. So 7 for me too. 7 for both contestants. Let's find out.
All right. Well, checking is a thing here if we wanted to check aces, but not at the stack depth.
Right, too deep.
I feel like if this person had 20, 15 big blinds, we could mix in some checks here with this kind of hand. But with 40 bigs, we have to raise here. So I think 7K is suitable. You could go 6K, you could go 7K, you could go 8K. I think anything over a 4x here is unnecessary. So if you wanted to go bet 10,000, to me, you're just scared with aces. Don't bet 5x here with aces. You're scared. Don't be scared with aces, okay?
Don't be scared.
Yeah. Anyways. So, bet 7,000. That's what I like. Checking.
Tristan.
Zero. With this stack depth, I don't want to check my top of my range. So we raise a 7. They call. Great. We get this flop. The ace-7 deuce, we flop the nuts. They check. What do we do now? Do we check? Do we bet 2,000? Or do we bet 10,000?
All right, flop the ace. Now, what do we do? Jack. Interesting. Poker coaching doesn't have any slow plays here, but versus button number the GTO wizard. I don't think at 40 bigs deep. It's the fact that we're deep. We want to start to get chips in this pot. Button call, big blind. Oops, big blind. Stop it. Poke GTO wizard. 0 checks with aces. We have a lot of checks, but 0 checks with aces. Can you see that good? Yes. We're too deep. We're way too deep. Coast and checking. Check. 2K for Matt. 2K for Jack's Bad. 2K for Beats and Contrast. Ooh, this is where Coast and Contrast split ways. Part ways. They can get 2 streets on the Turner River. I don't know if you can get it all, which sucks. Yeah. What a machine gun. No slow plays at this stack depth. 2K. Yeah, I mean, I tend to... I mean, I can definitely see the argument for checking. Like Pran would say, they don't really hit the 7 and the deuce very much. They probably limp raise a lot of their pairs, which means they just don't hit this very much. If we're going 10K here, machine gun, are you betting for value or are you betting as a bluff? If you're betting for value, what's worse that can call? You have all the ace-X. Check for no FOMO. Yeah, I kind of like checking. Bet turn, bet river, or maybe they start bluffing. I kind of like that. We just have this board so crushed. Check for caution, and yeah, we're blocking value heavy, right? Check for caution and contrast, gonna bet 2K. I can definitely see the argument for betting 2K. I definitely do that on some frequency here too, trying to get called by pairs. But if I think about it, 40 bigs deep, limp raise. I think a lot of the pairs limp raise, right? Limp, we raise. Yeah, so 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s, 6s, 7s, 8s, 9s. Yeah, all of them limp, either limp raise or limp jam. So he doesn't like no pairs. No pairs. All right, contrast checking. That's what we're going to do here. Costin on the side screen with... No. I think I have that backwards. Cost and checking, we have that on the side screen, and contrast going 2K here. Let's find out.
All right, so this is another interesting blind-on-blind spot. With this stack depth in our specific hand, we want to check. So if you pick check, we give you 10 points. Now, if we look at this spot from a range standpoint, we would really be betting our range on a7 deuce. I mean, there are some hands that we might check back, like kings or queens or jacks, if we had like the top of our range here. And you know, the ace is out there, those kind of hands would probably just check back sometimes. But more or less, like if we had nothing, we would be betting this flop. If we had something like ace 10, we could be betting this flop. So if we look at range for a specific hand, our range would bet this board, but this specific hand would not. So again, that's just a clear lesson when it comes to range versus hand. So checking is the best play here with this particular hand, because what can our opponent have that calls us? Like, so we want them to catch up. If you did want to bet here, I think betting one big blind is way better than any other bet. So if you bet 2,000, I give you 5 points, and I give that a little respect because it's like a range bet here. Let's just draw 2 bigs, whatever. But betting 10,000 is just unnecessary. We have the nuts in a spot where our opponent can have napkins. So we don't really want to be betting big here. So we check in hopes to have our opponent hit a card that they can continue with. The turn is the 8 of diamonds, kind of a brick. Nothing really is added. Sure, there's a couple flush draws and straight draws, what have you, but okay. They check again. Now what should we do? Should we check? Should we bet 5,000 or bet 10,000?
Check twice. Shit. Now what do we do? Maybe King High continue? I mean, not really, right? Like King Jack. It's got to be like King Jack suited. Something with a backdoor flush, right? King Queen suited with the backdoor flush. It's thin as fuck. Jack's bad. All that true, praying about protecting our check range. There's no value target. 5K for Dennis. 10K for Beats. 5K, 5K, 5K. Cussa going 5 now. FOMO going 5. Peanut going 5. Praying, thinking about checking again. C stars 5. I wouldn't say lots more middle card draws, but yeah, 5-6, Jack 9, 8X, 10 for Felici Suerte. Flush draw. I mean, we don't have a diamond, so there is some flush draw. 5K for Frosty. Jerome saying protect. $10K for Jerome. 5K for contrast. So 5 for contrast, 5 for custom. I mean, what changed? Not a fucking lot. Not worried about protecting here either, praying. I mean, it's just backdoor diamonds. It's the only scare card, right? Comes 9 or 10, I don't give a fuck. So then part of me thinks, you know, we want to start to get value, but what the fuck do we get value from? An 8? A 7? And then backdoor diamonds. So light. So light. My soul wants to check here. Let's find out. Both contestants betting. Let's find out.
All right, this is a spot where you really can't go wrong.
Sure.
If you've made it this far,
check 10.
Playing the hand as played, I think you're playing it really well. And now is the time where we need to get value. Yeah, so with all that said, our hand is still like the nuts and super strong, and our opponent really has nothing here a lot of the time. So we shouldn't really have big bets. So I like betting 5,000. I give that 10 points. If you go bet 10, I only give you 5 points because I think that just discourages further action, really. We really want them to have a 7. We want them to have an 8. We want them to turn diamonds, have 9, 10, have 5, 6, something that wants to put more money in here. But realistically speaking, we could be up against someone who just has absolutely nothing. So we go for a bet of 5,000, and unfortunately our opponent just folds. So maybe not a mind-blowing spot here, but the lesson is what we do pre-flop and then how we continue on certain board textures. We would have much rather not flop top set here. We would much rather this be like Queen 7 deuce or King 7 deuce or something, but you know, you can't always change your destiny in those instances. So worry about how to play the hand the best way, and I think how I played it is more or less the best way. I do think the flop bet could be a thing. That's the other note here, but that would be a really small bet, and I like one big blind there. So that's my only other tidbit. Hopefully you enjoyed this quiz, and I'm your coach, Creative, and I'm out.
And I'm out. Tristan, putting out some good content here. So I'm bringing up a solution right now. And this goes check, and our aces actually pretty much always betting. Betting too. So I could definitely see that and think I do that a lot. Here's the solution for our flop strategy. Try to make sure you can see this okay. It likes to bet. I can definitely see argument of checking as well, but it really likes to bet range on this board when we raise pre. But we do check. Turn was 8 diamond. Small blind checks. And ace is pure betting. And mostly sizing up. 75% pop. Go get that value. Don't check your way to Bolivian toe. And go get that value. Had we bet flop, call 8 diamond turn. Do we then fire again on the turn? Or do we bet check? No, just fire. Fire! Fire, fire, fire! Go get that value. All right, fair enough. All right, Cousin is the winner. Cousin gets the swish. 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. And contrast at that 5 in the middle on the flop. Congratulations, Cousin. Let me know how I can send you your $5. I was anti-Tristan, pro-solver, but I'm such a solver nerd. Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see the argument for checking on the flop. I'm surprised it's like 100% betting, but we're literally betting range on the flop when we raise pre. Because they're capped. And so for betting range, we got to bet this too. Yeah. And then if we're betting a call, then we bet again, which is crazy that we don't slow down at all. We're just deep. Put the money in the pot. When you're deep, go get that value. Go get the value town. All right. That's enough, Tristan. Let's go back. I see you, Kimmers. I will definitely check my messages. What's up? What's up? Let me think of a new keyword while I am doing this. Cancel this. What's the keyword? Ramal server work. I try and save that shit for sixes. Try to kick it old school. What up, waiter cheese? How you doing, man? Yeah, we've had a nice little 3 days. We won a tournament. We've had 3 firsts, 2 seconds, and 2 sevenths in the last 3 days. Pretty crazy. If we bet we run into cutoff button or non-BBB scenario, aces might be more of a check. Yeah, maybe. Range is an error. Yeah. Booked your fight to Vegas, Kimmer, is awesome. Romero work on Saturday kills my Sunday confidence. Thank you, Peanut Flesh. I appreciate that. All right, new keyword. What's the fucking keyword? Heater. Heater's the keyword. The cool thing about winning that too is we did it on the global stream, which means we unlocked the jackpot, which was cool, which means that we are now the jackpot champions. Sixes and Killer Bird have 10, and we fucking binked number 11 last night. So that was the ultimate. It was only 100 for the jackpot because Sir won it yesterday or day before. It was a small jackpot, but a big win for me because it was the blitz. It was 4,300 or something. Plus we took 7th in the Frost for another like 500. So it was a good day. It's like a 5K day. It's a good day. It's a very good day. All right, you guys are getting the heater. Let's pick this quiz 17, 18. Let's do this. Romero quizzes kill my confidence for Sunday is so funny. Thanks, Jerome. Appreciate that, man. You know, like, it's like we always say, right? We work really hard. We put in a bunch of volume, and sometimes good things happen. GOAT today. Yeah, I would love to play for the GOAT today, but I promised my wife that I would have the wife day. So I don't think I'm playing today, but we're going to hit it hard tomorrow. Plus, I played 3 days in a row, and I had these, like, you know, I work for an East Coast company, but I live on the West Coast, and so fucking 3 days this week, and then Thursday, Friday in a row, I had 6 a.m. meetings. And then had to play all day. And then had 3 killer days. He went on no sleep. So that's like, fuck. No goat wrangling for beats either, huh? Thank you, Kimmers. Thank you for all the love. All right, let's draw the winner. Winner number 1. Boom! Monkey May I legend. Monkey May I. Going up against 1, 2, 3, bang! Beats. Okay. We got two guys who study quite a bit. This is going to be the battle of the ages. We're going to have Monkey May I on the front screen. We'll have Beats on the second screen since we drew Monkey May I first. And we're going to learn about some underpair with JL. Let's do it. In a 10K, too.
Here we have...
And sixes.
Sixes facing a raise from the cutoff, playing about 50 big blinds deep. Should we fold, call, re-raise to 38,000, or re-raise to 52,000?
All right. Pocket sixes in the big blind. Do we raise 50 bigs deep, or do we call? I did this 4 sixes. This was my homage, my tribute. It'd be funny if we grief this hand, and then you can go back and tell sixes that we needed him. We fucked this up. Beats calling. And I see everybody calling. Everybody calling, yeah. I don't think we raise this low. Raise some of our better pairs, but I don't think we raise pairs this low. So let's call.
You're going to find that when you have a small pair facing a raise, you basically always want to call. Let's take a look at the GTO charts. Here we're looking at 60 big blinds versus cutoff raise. As you see, 7s and lower, always call. What if we were a little bit shallower? We'd start jamming sometimes. And as you get really shallow, you'll definitely start jamming. But when you're playing deep stacked against a raise, you basically always call the small pairs. Here we are, 60 big blinds. Here we are, 80 big blinds. You'll see that these hands just don't 3-bet. What about if we were against the button? Same story, really just not much 3-betting when deep stacked, right? Just because the hand's good and you want to see the flop. And as the opponent raises from earlier position, let's say under gun +1, you're of course going to 3-bet way less and always call. So when you're playing deep stacked with small pairs, call, see the flop, go from there. King 7-4, we check. An opponent bets 6,000. Should we fold, call, raise to 18,000, or raise to 30,000?
Okay. Calling good. Don't want to push these small pairs. When we get called, we hit a lot of flops that are hard to play. And then if we see bet and get called, now we're in hell on the turn. And we get floated a lot. Enjoy cooking. Yeah, I don't drink coffee. This is my caffeine. Lots of calls. Made marginal. Lots of calls. Cost of calling. Be money calling. Felici Suerte calling. Look at all these sticky spazzes. Who's on Team Sticky Spaz? Monkey May I, Sea Stars, Peanut Flush. On Team Sticky Spaz. Beats. on Team Sticky Spaz. We're looking for... Oh, we got them. Both of them. Call them. Yeah, we can't fold. We have a pair. It's hard to make a pair and hold them. And you bet 6 into 24. We're getting a good price. We go. Team Sticky Spaz for the win. Let's do it.
If the opponent made a bigger bet of, let's say, 18,000, as I think the opponent should actually do on a lot of King High wards, I think we can probably find a tight fold, although calling may still be fine. But when we're against a small bet of 6,000, you just cannot fold much of anything in this scenario. One of the ways a lot of the best players run over not so sophisticated players is they just use a lot of frequent small bets, and that results in their opponents overfolding on every betting round. And if they overfold on every betting round, well, you're just going to profit. It's kind of hard to not win if your opponents fold way too much to small bets because you're risking almost nothing. So we cannot fold here. Question is, should we raise? And I would probably just say no. I mean, if you ran this through a GTO solver, maybe it does say to raise some portion of the time with small pairs. GTO does funny things whenever you're facing really tiny bets and you're out of position. You raise pretty wide for value and with a lot of bluffs. And while you do still have a calling range, of course, sometimes small pairs are used as bluffs and sometimes they're not. It's kind of a weird thing. Definitely check out the Tournament and Cash Game Masterclass facing a continuation bet sections to see roughly what is done in the spot. But I have to imagine we're either going to call or we're going to raise smallish to something like 18,000. Solver usually doesn't go for such big
Six
raises
is pure call.
because when you raise big, you're just losing more money than necessary against your opponent's strong hands. My
Pure
default
call.
here is essentially always to call, though. I'm going to be raising pretty polarized with something like King 10 and better, King Jack and better, something like that. And then a lot of draws, and we have a lot of gut shots here. Whenever there are a lot of draws available, I usually just use a lot of the draws to raise. When there are fewer draws available, then maybe start using small pairs. So anyway, I'm going to call here the vast majority of the time, just because we're getting amazing pot odds. You may say, but aren't you just going to end up folding a lot of times if your opponent bets the turn and the river? And the answer is yes. You got to realize it is okay to fold out some portion of your range on every betting round. And right here, if we had just total garbage, I don't know, find some total garbage hands. Jack 5 of diamonds, right? We can probably just fold out the Jack 5 of diamonds. But you can't go around folding pairs here. And you got to realize on a lot of turns, especially bad turns, you may find yourself in a tough spot. Turn's a bad turn. We check. Opponent bets small again. 11,000. Should we fold, call, raise to 28,000, or raise to 42,000?
Yeah, never raising this. It's not an anomaly. He misspoke. It's 100% call. I ran it. I looked. Double barrel, though. Oh, shit. No backdoor left tonight. Should have bought him a fancy dinner, put on some Barry Manilow. You know how that works. Everybody folding. RDH folding. This call, I was getting into trouble on the turn. Yeah, this was an easy turn, right? But like I said, when we get the right price, and if they ever cap turn, which they do sometimes, right? Uh-oh. Pete's out here calling. Everybody else folding except for Machine Gun and Beats. Machine Gun and Beats. The one argument here is that, like, the ace is a good double barrel bluff card. The other argument is that he bet fucking third pot. Fuck. So this is weird. Bet small to fold out this part of our range. Fuck, this is weird. We don't have a lot of ace-x. We didn't 3-bet pre. So, like, my default here would be fold for sure. My default here would be for sure beat. Queen Jack. Queen 10. Things like that. Jack 10. All bluff here with the ace on the turn. Like, my default would be a fold here, but the fucking third pot makes me want to call. Fuck. I'm really conflicted. I am really conflicted. Let's see what the solver does here. I would fold mostly, but this bet size seems fucking sus. And it's a 10K, which means these players are better. Yeah. Let's go this. Call. Turn is the ace of spades. We check. cut off them bets. Fucking third pot, right? Third pot. Ooh. All right, cool. It's a pure fold even for third pot. Okay. 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 Let's see if JL agrees with Beats, though. Beats calling. Monkey, may I fold? And let's find out. I'll show you that in a second.
This is now just an easy fold. Even though we're facing a small bet, at this point we can certainly start folding out some of our worst.
7 points for the call, Beats.
Those are going to be just our small
not terrible
at this point. Now, I will say that if we have a hand like 5-4 suited, we should perhaps call here, because notice 5-4 suited has 5 outs when we're behind, where 6s only has 2 outs when we're behind. So you got to realize that hands like 6s and 5-4
7
suited
points
are
call,
basically the
Beats.
same here, but you'd much rather have the 5-4 because it has more outs. So if we're folding out queen high, jack high, 10 high that don't have backdoor draws anymore, you got to be careful that we don't overfold in this scenario. But I think this hand, pocket 6s, is probably just fine to fold at this point. If you told me you wanted to call again and then fold on the river, I suppose that's not the worst thing ever. But the ace is really, really good for the opponent.
It's terrible in the
if you want
solver.
good, they can keep value betting with kings here because they have a lot of aces in their range, right? And, you know, while we do have some aces too, their aces are usually going to be better than ours because they're not raising like ace-2 offsuit, whereas we would have ace-2 offsuit. So some of their aces beat, well, their aces will typically beat our aces on average. Also, we 3-bet like ace-king and ace-queen preflop, right? So we don't have those. So this is a spot where you don't really get to do a whole lot of raising even against a small bet. So I suppose we could call and then fold out on the river, but I think this is a fine spot just to let it go. And that's what I do. Whenever you get a really bad turn, like an ace or a queen or a jack or a 10 or maybe even a 9 or an 8, maybe not a 9 or an 8, because, well, not an 8 because then you have a straight draw. But on the other big card turns, if your opponent keeps betting, it's probably fine just to get off the hook. Fine to fold with hands like low pairs that are drawing to 2 outs.
So just fold, even for the small price. Easy peasy. Solver pure folds. Pure folds. You want to see the check raise? I'm assuming you're talking about on the flop. So this is the check raise strat. So 2 pairs. A lot of our 7s check raising. A good clip of our shitty 7s that also have the backdoor straight draw raising. These must be... I mean, these are mixing pretty heavy. Backdoor straight, backdoor flush over to the 7. These are hard ones to find. Gut shots and flush draws with very little showdown or sets. Look, 7-6-0, 5-6, the open ender. A lot of our 7s. Interesting. And then you'll see these a lot. So usually these ones here are going to be the ones blocking 2 backdoor flushes. So spade club or spade heart. And the backdoor straight. That's what these are. He's just playing equity, play hard rivers. That's true, and rivers are going to be really hard to play. Yes, yes, yes. I totally agree. I wonder if we would check raise king 10 suited or too much equity. Queen 10 suited has a small mix of raise, but mostly just calling. Third pot is why I call. Half pot or more I fold. Is good reason. Can you show check raise as we did? Blah, 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 blah. Marlon arguing the sticky punt. But again, like, the call was a 7, so it's not like a sticky punt for reals. In the BB, don't we have a lot of Broadway and suited connectors? I mean, yes, but they have all the better ones, right? And the ace is way better for them. Like, we have Broadways, but our Broadways are like queen, like king high, which are king X, which we're never folding, right? We have a pair of kings. And then like queen jack and jack 10 with a gut shot, like 4 outs or so, 8 outs to the river, right? So what's that, 16% or so? Blech. 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 Beats too rich to fold? Fair. We saw that when we were playing against the other day, and I had to yell at you on Discord, Beats. Oops. Let's get this back. All right, cool. Monkey May I, congratulations. Whooping Beats ass at the buzzer. All right. Let's do this. New keyword gonna be, if we fill in here, what are our hands c-betting small on the flop range? C-betting range on that flop. With the king, we can beat any hand. You mean if we have a king in our hand? Is that what you're saying, Marlon? If we actually have a king, then we're actually not folding turn. The problem, Marlon, is equity realization. Like, you're going to call the river and then pray for a check? Because if they bet 3 times, you're folding for sure, right? 0 check raise on the flop because it was king 7x. And if you're check raising, are you betting for value or are you betting as a bluff? If you're betting for value on the check raise on the flop, what's worse that can call? Nothing. If you're betting as a bluff with a check raise on the flop, what's better that's folding? Nothing. I mean, 8s, right? So, check call, check fold. Easy peasy, Japanese. All right. The too rich to fold should be good. Yeah, you should have a TR. What's it? TRTF module. TRTF. All right, keyword. What is our keyword now? Oh, there we go. TRTF. Too rich to fold. TRTF, the keyword. Check raise on the flop is pretty sure explanation, not a GTO. It is a 0% check raise on the flop. 0, big fat 0%. All right, let me find us another suitable quiz. Marlon. We're going to find out in 5 years that Marlon was ahead of the game this whole time. He was blazing the path. That's funny. MTO, Machine Gun Theory Optimal. I love it. I love it. I mean, blazing something. Yeah. In all seriousness, like I remember what years and years and years ago, it was me and I had 2 other friends that like they studied a little bit, you know, but they played a little bit of poker. They weren't like grinding it out like me, but they were as close to I can get as a study group, and that was my first study group. What up, Sticky? How you doing, man? And anyways, I remember one of the guys at a time, like 3x pre was like your standard opening size, right? It was just what everyone did. And my buddy was like, maybe we should look into this min raising. I see people min raising, and I was like, fuck min raising. Min raising doesn't get any folds. You're blowing the pot. Like, min raising isn't a fucking thing. And then who knew, you know, within a couple of years, I'd be min raising for the next 15. So like these things do change. These things definitely change. It's not out of the realm of possibility that MTO is the way to go. I would not be shocked. All right, cool. Let's pick one of these quizzes. I thought I saw an Affleck one up here. Did I not? Am I tripping? So hard to go through these old ones and find. We need 6 to come back so we could do fucking quizzes from the top of the list. God damn it! That's what we need. Oh, here we go. 1700 will do. Fuck it. The show must go on. I'm trying to find it on the other screen here. 1700. All right, a little Matt Affleck in our lives. Always a good thing. Hey, Sticky, thanks for the good vibes, brother. I appreciate you. All right, winner number 1. Bang! Oh, shit. B Money. Been working hard on his game. We already did pick a keyword. Machine gun. Get in there. TRTF. Too rich, too fold. TRTF. Hurry up. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Marlon! TRTF! Hurry! He is. He's going to put it in right now. We're going to draw it. It's not going to be machine gun. Oh, you're in there already. Oh, cool. Cool. So I didn't forget. He just forgot that I put it in there, and he forgot that he entered it already. What the fuck, Marlon? That's why I love you, buddy. Oh, peanut pea flesh. Peanut pea flesh. I can't even speak anymore. Holy shit. They only pulled out of Jackson. That was crazy last night, right, Beats? That was funny. Jackson's a fucking character. You know, I hung out with him a little bit during the World Series, and we met up. And we're like, hey, Jackson, how you doing, man? He's like, yeah, you know, I'm just modulating. You know, just modulating, man. And I was like, cool, cool. And I'll be honest with you, I have no idea what the fuck he was saying. What? Modulating? You compartmentalizing? Like, what? The fuck? Anyways, Peanut Flush versus B Money. We got B Money on the front screen. We got Peanut Flush on the side screen. B Money don't mess around. He's been working hard on his game. We've been studying a lot. Let's find out. Let's put it to work. Good luck.
All right, in this hand we have Queen 8 offsuit in the big blind. Gonna fold to the button, who makes it 3,000. Should we fold, call, re-raise to 10,000, or go all in?
All right, Queen 8, base on a raise from the button. We got a few choices that aren't choices. We got a few choices that are decent choices. Can't raise, can't fold, can't rip. This is praying. B Money with the call, Peanut with the call. Call, Felicia Suerte with the call. Everybody calling. Jack's bad hand calling. Everybody call. All in for Sway Skater. Not messing around. There's one. Call, I want to fold because I'm a nit. C-Stars 3-betting this like 20%. Gonna make me look. I wasn't gonna look. Who's that? Who that? Money Shredder. Thank you for the follow. Welcome, buddy. All right. 25 bigs deep. Button open. Big blind with Queen 8-0. No. Pure call. 100% call. 100% call. We got to defend wide on the button, especially the shallower we get, the wider we're going to defend. Because when we're super deep and we hit top pair, if all the chips go in and we have like top pair shit kicker, we're in big trouble. But when we're 30 bigs and under, like we hit top pair, we can just fucking go with it. So this is what our range should look like. Affleck's going to know this in 100% call, which I think is what our contestants did. B Money and Peanut Flesh both called. Let's find out.
We call here. 3-betting is reasonable. I'd rather do it with a worse hand though, like Queen 6 offsuit, Queen 7 offsuit, Queen 5 offsuit. And the reason I'd rather do with that is the button is going to open with a lot of hands like Jack 8, King 8, 9 8. We want to like unblock those hands because those are the hands that are going to fold. So I'd rather 3-bet with Queen 7, Queen 6, Queen 5. Since we'll have a little bit more fold equity since we don't block the folds or the bottom of the opening range from our opponent. But Queen 8 offsuit, we're never folding here. We're going to call. Comes Queen Jack 5. We're always going to check this board. It goes check.
The fuck?
The turn is the 5 of clubs. Should we check, bet 2,500, bet 5,000, or bet 8,500?
What is the play? Wait, check on the flop. Now we're out here with top pair. What we're going to do? What are we going to do? 2,500 for Peanut. $2,500 for Peanut, $2,500 for Monkey May. Praying 25, 5K for Mr. Matt. All in for Sway Stalker. I mean, is it a dunk? I guess it's technically a donk. And they go check. Is it a donk? Meh. 85 pot for Mr. Beats. 5K. Lots of baby little bets here. 5K. 5K. Lots of options. Who are our contestants again? B Money and Peanut Flesh. Peanut Flesh going 2,500. What's Mike doing? 5. All right. So, yeah, I mean, on the turn, I think we generally don't want to bet small. We really want, like, when we're betting, what are we targeting? We're targeting a jack. We're targeting flush draw and straight draw, right? And all those are going to call a bigger bet than 2.5K. So I'm leaning toward 5. King 10, things like that are played passively. I'm leaning 5 myself. I think I'm leaning 5. The problem with 8.5 and whoever said all in is that like you're betting for value, right? You want to get called by worse, and if we bet 8.5 or if we bet all in, like we can't ever get called by worse. Straight draw call on it. I mean, we went check on the flop, so maybe. Especially if it's like King 10 with straight draw and over, right? What are we doing with our 5s? Assuming he has no Queen X, limited Queen X, block clubs, block the low straight, target Jack X. I mean, I'm still going 5. Seven, okay, it kind of is okay too, I guess. All right, cool. So 5 from B Money and Peanut Bush going 2,500. B Money on the main screen, so let's do it. Oh, that's even bigger.
Really
nice one, Beats.
In the solver actually agrees that most of our range here should be checking or betting really
no
big
small
here.
bets.
And by really big, I mean like pot or even a small over bet here. And so I think the best answer here is bet 8,500.
I always miss these turnover bets. God damn it.
Well, but
that's a leak in my
reason
game.
We want to bet really big here is like our opponent check back the flop. They don't really have a lot of the nutted hands anymore. Yeah, they might check back pocket queens sometimes. They don't really have aces or kings. A lot of their ranges can be like a jack, pocket 10s, pocket 9s, pocket 8s. And
Let's
when
see.
your opponent's capped, you want to leverage your nut advantage now with really big bets, which will allow you to bluff more often. We don't really have a ton of incentives here to bet with a hand like Jack 10. Since when we're bet here, we're trying to get called by a jack. And so we want to be checking since we block the calling range a lot. Most of our range here is going to be like our better Queen X and 5X. And those hands can bet really big here. So I really like 8,500. I think checking is a fine option as well. Betting 5,000 is good. At least it's a big bet. It's not big enough, though, in my opinion.
Skid or die. Thank you for the follow.
500, I think, is the worst of the options. You're just not getting enough money into the pot with that small of a bet. I chose to check this time. My opponent bets 5,000. Should we fold, call, raise to 12,000, or raise to 17,000?
So if we look at this in the solver, guys, like it does like to size up. The darker the red, the bigger our bets, right? Cool. Queen 8-0, though, mostly prefers like 80% pot, so beats dead on. It likes that better than pot because pot starts to just push things out too much, I think. So 75-80% pot is the ultimate bet size here, doing that 54% of the time. So yeah, no small bets when they cap on turn. That's just not a thing. Well, you guys who did small bet, there was a lot of you. So 5K, okay, 8 points, not bad, not terrible, not terrible. Pot better, he likes that for 10 points. We checked though in game, which is super weird. I'm better than Phil Ivey in my mind. So 5K was the closest, or 8.5? 8.5 is the right answer. 3 points for 2.5K. Too small. Too small. I mean, I guess 8.5K is closer to 80% pot than 5, right? I don't know. Bet big. Bet big is the point. Everybody clothing. Yeah, I probably would have bet 5-2 there, Matt. Not quite bet enough. Sometimes I go 75%. I click the three-quarter button. I definitely do that sometimes too. Call for peanut flush. B money in here somewhere. Call for B money. Yeah, we have a good pair. We don't have a great pair. We call. We don't want to raise. For raising, what's worse than calling? Not a lotta. I think it's the same, Matt, between your 5X and your Queen X here is pretty much the same at this point. Oh, cool. We're calling. Let's find out.
I think it's close here between call and raising to 12,000. It really depends on your opponent here. The button really doesn't have a lot of 5X. They'll have some seeded 5s that check back the flop, turn trips now. But in general, I think people are going to bet too much here with some weaker Jack X that we want to target. We'll start betting hands like pocket 8s that are going to bet the turn and then check back the river. I think check raising here is a very reasonable option because we just prevent them from betting the turn and then checking back the river. Calling the turn and then calling river is also a very viable option. The opponent will have some 5X here. So I think it's really close between call and raise to 12,000. I don't think it matters too much. I don't think we need to make it bigger than 12,000 because if we make it 12,000, the pot's going to be 32,000 on the river, and we're only going to have 25,000 behind. So the pot will be plenty big enough to get the money in on the river. Calling, though, I think since our kicker doesn't play, if this was like the 3 of spades and we check the turn, this hand's a mandatory check raise 100% of the time. But now that our kicker doesn't play and we chop with hands like Queen 4, Queen 3, Queen Deuce that might check back, we might not get 2 streets of value from Jack X. Check raising becomes less viable, but I think both are still fine. I chose to check raise to 12,000 this time, and our opponent called. We got the Queen of Spades on the river. Should we check, bet 5,000, bet 12,000, or go all in?
Interesting about the check raise. I'm looking at the solver right now. It does check raise an okay clip. It's like 60-40 call versus raise, so pretty interesting there. Opponent jams after you raise 12K. Can you comfortably fold against everyone? God, I almost never fucking raise here. But let's find out what the solver says. Oh, no, we're going to be priced in at that point with top pair. For sure, we're priced in the top pair. Yeah, 100%. 100% calling. 100% calling. 5K for machine gun with the little blocker. It is an interesting check raise. I think I missed that a lot, to be honest, there, Nucifer. But it was 40%, so that's a good fucking clip. No straight, no flush, all in. We check raised in game, praying. Money Shredder says, get it in! Don't let him check behind. Since the J is on the board, he would need to have Queen Jack plus on turn to beat you if both players had a queen. Yeah. Do we value bet or let him bluff? Guess Ace X is calling for a side card. He shouldn't have a 5. Limited QX we chop with. Question is if this guy value pocket pairs or Ace X. Blah, 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 blah. We check. B money. We could have check back JJ2. We could have. 5K for Jack's man. Half pot for Skate or Die. We are out of position B money, so smaller bets are definitely a thing in general. Peanut flush checking. Is that what you're doing? Yes. B money, did you come up with the final answer? Or are you still working it out? The ever so important question. What is he bluffing with? B money all in. And I think Peanut said checking. So this is a turning point again. I mean, I'm never checking. I'm never checking for all the reasons you guys said about him. Like, he's going to check back a jack. He's going to check back. He doesn't check back kings. Yeah, he's going to check back a jack. He's going to check back, like, pocket tens. Pocket nines. Pocket eights that might actually call a bet here because they beat ace high. And there's a ton of missed draws on this board, too. Missed diamonds, missed straight cards, right? What would I do with my missed flush here? I would jam. I'm jamming. I'm jamming. I'm jamming. Jamming. Jamming, final answer. Jamming. Jamming, 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 jamming. I think that's right. We can't check because, like, he's going to check back so often. And like we say, for you guys that hang out with me in other groups too, like, we always say it's better to check bet fold than to check call, right? It's also better. So this kind of falls in that same category. What would you do with your diamonds? It's better to bet. You missed diamonds. Cool. All in for B-Money. Checking for Peanut Flush. Let's find out. 10 points all in.
Here we just want to be shoving with our hand. We do not want to check here.
Check 6 points.
The button really doesn't have a queen very often. They might have some queen 4, queen 3, queen deuce to check back the flop, maybe queen 6, but we have the most queen X coverage here in the big blind, and we want to press that, and we don't want to check and allow a hand like jack 10 or ace jack or king jack to just check back the river. That would be an absolute disaster. Also, like, a lot of people won't bluff enough if you check here, so I don't think checking to induce makes a lot of sense here. And so we just want to be shoving with our hands, and we can check and bluff catch with like a hand like a 5. We can check and bluff catch with, you know, we don't really check raise with jacks here, but like a 5 would be the most common hand that we want to check and bluff catch with. Perhaps an ace high hand that we check raise on the turn. Maybe a king high hand like king 10 we can check raise and then bluff catch with on the turn. So there's other ways to bluff catch here, and this queen X hand just wants to make sure we get maximum value here. So we go ahead and shove all in, and we generate a fold.
Right on, right on, right on. B-Money coming in with the fucking swish. Does that mean I meant small bets in this scenario? Yeah. Yeah. Yes. All right. Let's think of a new keyword. All right, new keyword. We'll deal with that later. Are we shoving for a fold? No, we're shoving for value. We have the nut full house. What's calling a shove that we beat? Jack X. Some of those pocket nines and stuff. Pocket tens stuff. AX, pocket pairs. X, I don't know if AX calls the jam or not. Jack Jack, if you check back, there's another one. B-Money, Jack X. Yep. All right. Is he playing jacks that way? Check, check, flop? Could be. It's not out of the realm of possibility. You just got to jam your value hands. That's all there is to it. Jam your fucking value hands. Jam missed diamonds there as well for balance. Absolutely. All right, new keyword. No knit, all one word. 12K would have been an exploit. Yeah. Jam it. Be greedy. Be greedy. All right, you guys are getting the no nits in there. Time to pick a quiz. Matt says he checks back there too much and has to think these through more in game. And that just comes with reps, man. You know, like, you've been doing this for a while, for sure, but still relatively young in the game, you know? And I've been doing this shit for decades. You know, it takes decades. It takes forever. To, like, really, especially, you know, you're a smart guy, for sure. But it's about, like, are you gifted? And if you're not gifted, it takes fucking forever. It takes fucking forever. I am not gifted. I'm a relatively smart guy who's very not gifted. So you know how much work I put in, right? Matt, I've been doing that shit for 25 years. Like, that's what it takes. That's what it takes. Poker is the long game. It's a game over the course of your life. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's do it.
All right, poker coaching. It's me, Tristan Wade, with you, poker coaching community.
That could be fun, Marlon.
And we got a quiz from the 3K6 Max. In this hand,
we'll do that next, Marlon.
It's titled Playing a Pocket Pair in Position. Who doesn't want to learn how to play a pocket pair in position? I don't know. I want to learn, so let's go. Hijack opens to 2 point whatever X, 2.12, 2.2, whatever it is. And we got 2 sevens here on the button. We both are about 50.
So I'm going to pause this real quick because I just realized I never fucking rolled for the winner. Marlon caught me at the same time. All right. Winner number 1, Sway Skater. Blazing Sun, I'm sitting here right here in front of you. Jerome. All right, guys. Sway Skater, congratulations. All right, so here we go. We'll start this quiz over from the beginning here and let you guys let you guys do this. I see you leaning off camera. Shit. All right. I see you, Sway Skater. All right. Congratulations. Sway Skater, we're going to keep you on this front screen. Let me know what you would do in this hand. We're going to go with what you say. We're going to have Jerome on the other screen battling out for $5. Yay! Oh, Skater die. Got needled on accident. All right, let's do this.
All right, poker coaching. It's
I gotta say this too.
Tristan
Fucking
Wade, with you,
Tristan Wade upping his
poker
quiz
coaching
game.
Community. And we got a quiz from the 3K6 Max. In this hand, it's titled Playing a Pocket Pair in Position. Who doesn't want to learn how to play a pocket pair in position? I don't know. I want to learn, so let's go. Hijack opens to 2 point whatever X, 2.12, 2.2, whatever it is. And we got 2 sevens here on the button. We both are about 50 big blinds deep with about 50 big blind stacks behind us. What should we do here? Should we fold? Should we call? Or should we 3-bet to 12-5?
All right. Jerome calling. Everybody calling. Call. Felice's birthday. Call. Beat money. Call. Dennis calling. Everybody calling. Yeah, we just call here, right? Kind of similar to what we saw with the sixes and the big blind defend. We just call. Let's do it.
All right. Well, I love playing hands on the button because we can just flat call a lot of stuff. Especially our middling pairs, our weaker pairs, all of our good pairs, like deuces to 8s and 9s can even flat here. You know, when it comes to 10s plus, we probably want to be 3-betting. 10s probably can mix in some calls here, but mostly does 3-bets. So, yeah, we just have one of those hands that's always going to call. This hand in particular is not going to 3-bet, like, ever, because it plays better in position to see flops. It has its value to set mine. It has its value in keeping pots smaller. So if this was a hand like King 7 of clubs, I think that would be like a better 3-bet because the overcard, the equity, and taking control of like a weaker hand. But that hand could still even flat call the button here. But anyway, this hand in particular is not doing anything else but call. And we go heads up to the flop. The flop comes 10-8 deuce, 2 diamonds. They check. What should we do here? Should we check? Should we bet 5K or bet 10K?
Interesting spot in position here. They open hijack. We defend the button. They check. What is this? 3K 6 max. So this player should be relatively competent. This is a relatively competent player. They should be checking in this position with a very, very, very large portion of their range. We can't call here, Sway Skater. It's check or bet. So does call mean check? Luis Suerte, stinky betting 5. We have over 10-1 with the small pair there. Skater die. 5 for peanut flush. Check for B money. Sway Skater checking. Got you. Jerome in the tank. Five. All right, right away we get some controversy. So yeah, I think the general rule here is the more our hand needs protection, the more we should be betting here. This hand needs a good amount of protection. I'm probably betting 5 myself. I could see some argument for checking in a 3K 6 max when a player is good. He's going to be checking back a lot of his range. We have the diamond, though, which helps. I'm kind of conflicted myself. Feel like we're getting floated a check race here a lot. Sure. I see you, Jerome. Both Swiss Skater checking, though. He's on the main screen. Let's find out.
All right, I love these spots.
Yeah, checking good. I can see it. 8 points for the 5, so not a mistake.
With what we do with our range. So, these hands in particular, these pairs that have overcards to them on these flop textures want to check back a lot. And the hands with a diamond in them want to check back even more because we're protected. So what I'm saying is, like, this hand appears a lot stronger than it is when you call a raise pre-flop and then you get the 10-8 deuce and they check. You're like, oh great, I have the best hand, let me go ahead and bet. Sure, you can have some small bets here with these hands, but the optimal strategy is usually to check here, because if we bet and get called, what kind of hands are calling us? Overcards, maybe an 8x, maybe a 10x that's playing it kind of slow. All I'm saying is, like, it's not a slam dunk spot if we just bet here and get called. We're mostly just checking down after that because we don't really know where we reside in our value range. So
I like that.
Really want to check back when they have a diamond for protection. So if this was like sevens with no diamond, then I think that hand starts to bet a bit more because it's harder to play moving forward. But this hand in particular isn't that hard because we have the diamond and we have a pair, so we're gonna like be calling a lot of turns if it's suitable for our range. So hopefully you understand that concept. So checking, I give 8 points. Betting 5, I give 8 points. I think
good
both
points,
of those,
Matt.
Are valuable here. If you're playing against weaker players, I think you can get away with betting here. But more or less the proper strategy is to check. So I should have given check a little more points here. Betting 10,000 shouldn't be a thing. We are going to have some big bets on this board texture, but never with these type of hands. So yeah, we go ahead and we check back. Turn is the ace of spades. Our opponent checks. And what should we do now? Should we check? Should we bet 5,000 or bet 10,000?
What do we do now, folks? Check, check. Ace on the turn. Sway Skater snap checking. Couldn't check fast enough. Peanut flush checking. Marshall Madhand check, says Marlin. Matt says turn 7 no bluff. He checks twice. Do we think he checks ace X 2 times out of position? Maybe. Is it a good card or a bad card? All good questions. Jack's bad hand checking. Dennis checking. No nit. No nit allowed. Looking for Jerome. Jerome. Got to go opposite. Oh, cousin. Thank you for that, cousin. I see your message right now. I'm going to try and do that. So go opposite means you're checking, Jerome? Why did I say check back out of range? So I think he checks ace high out here as well. I'd argue that he probably bets a good clip of ace high here. I think he probably... Check back ace high twice seems unlikely. Check. Yeah, I mean, I don't think much changed, right? I mean, our hand does need some protection. We're not going to clean up against King Jack and Queen Jack. This is a bit of a weird one. This is a bit of a weird one. Gift sub for Mr. Mike Cash. Compliments of Cosin's win earlier today. Overbet, he capped. You're betting for value, betting as a bluff, Marlon. I really want to lean check. Checking for Jerome. Sway Skater checking, I believe. Yes, let's find out. Nothing changed.
Unfortunately for us,
makes good
the
sense.
Run out is getting a little dicey. Now Queen Jack and King Queen have picked up a ton of equity. King Jack as well. Now Ace X beats us, so not the best turn card for us. We really didn't want to see that. And our opponent can still check some Ace X's. They could maybe even check some 10 X's here. So we don't really have a spot where we can bet. I feel like, yeah, we are just kind of in let's get the showdown mode with this hand. Let's hope that the river's a blank and they check to us and yada yada. So if this was any other turn card and our opponent checked, like if it's a deuce, a 3, a 4, a 5, a 6, an 8, a 10, a 9, if our opponent had any other hand, aside from maybe a 9 turning, I think we could comfortably bet. But yeah, we just have to check back here and hope that we get to showdown. Betting 5,000, I gives you 2 points. I just don't think this hand ever wants to bet. 10,000 is just no, it's a 0. So checking should be the play here. And then the river is the king of hearts. Our opponent now bets 6,000. What should we do? Should we fold? Should we call? Or should we raise to 22,000?
What do we do? What do we do? What do you think, folks? Folds. Who's calling this shit? Sevens are a bluff catcher. Ruh-roh. Matt's calling this shit. He's tanking on it. Gonzo. Fold. Just fucking fold. You crazy calling this? Who's calling this?
I think you understand where we're headed with this hand.
Jesus, Matt.
Just about run out. Nothing we can do here. We have to fold now. Too many hands beat us on the river. Ace X.
It's a hijack opening
King
range.
X. Queen Jack. Yeah. just too many hands. We don't have a good bluff catcher. We don't have a good hand to try to even bluff here. So, yeah, I mean, this hand was played pretty weak, but what I'm trying to illustrate here is these hands on this spot are going to play really weak. We will be calling here some percentage of the time. Like, this hand is a bluff catcher. So it could call here, but it would call here a very small percent of the time, like 15% or something. Like, it's just unlikely that we have the best hand anymore against this person's range. It's not like their range is all that, like, just wide, even on the hijack. So folding is 10 points, calling is 0, raising to 22,000 is 0. Like I said, maybe you could call here on occasion, but it really isn't something you should do that all that much. So, yeah. It looks like we played this hand weak, but overall, I think if we had a different run out, it would be a different story. I think the main components here are your pre-flop calling and then how to continue on this flop, and really how strong is our hand actually on this flop. So that's what you need to understand and ask yourself, and really dive into that concept there. So I'm Tristan Wade. Hopefully you enjoyed this, and let's move on to the next hand.
Yeah, Space Gator, congratulations. Hit me up. Let me know how I can send you $5, ACR, PayPal, Skrill, Smoke Signal, what have you. Let me know. Congratulations. Jerome snuck in a little 8 on there. I get 100% on these quizzes. Why can't I do good in games? I would say volume and patience. And maybe there's some other leaks in your game that you're unaware of. So I would suggest getting a study group and or coach. I think would be the best way to go about that. Were you calling there, Jerome? Let's not skate over that, Jerome. Were you calling that river? You crazy SOB. All right, new keyword. I forgot Jerome's on super delay right now. Gonna be the last quiz of the day. GPT, do you know a coach? machinegun@yahoo.com. Whisper that to me, Sway Skater, so I don't lose it in chat. I don't have to dig for it. And I'm pretty sure I can cash out. I would have called for the Hail Mary just to try and hedge your bets. You were down by 2 and needed to find a way to fucking come out on top. I like the strategy, Jerome. I like the strategy. I like it. Leveling the quiz game. Nice. All right. Levels, L-E-V-E-L-S, is the new keyword in honor of Jerome. I like it. All right, while you guys are doing that, we'll pick the final quiz of the day. Jerome, 5 hitting the quizzes. Absolutely. I love it. I love it. Hedging his bets. All right. Oh, you said you wanted to do one of my old quizzes. Fuck. This will be fun. I submitted these so long ago. Uh-oh. Might be under my real name. Woo! Look, these were like 1,500 quizzes ago. So it looks like I've taken all of them except for this one, 819. It's going to be funny if I contradict myself. This was a few years ago. It might happen. Might happen. Bonnie, never received my entry to the giveaway last night. They usually send out within 48 hours. If you don't get it within 48 hours, hit up Global Poker Live is the screen name. They'll take care of you. All right, cool. Drawing winners. Bang. Oh, Jesus Christ. It's the fucking machine gun. And he's up against... Bang. Hey, Baldy. Coming in and doing it again. All right, Baldy, if you don't know what's happening here, we're going to go with your answers on the quiz. So let me know what you would do in this, and if you beat Machine Gun Score, you get $5. Cool. All right, this is a really old quiz of mine. So in a 1650 on ACR, it looks like. So let's see how this goes. This will be fun.
Here we are with a quiz from the 1650 7.5K online tournament that runs all over the place every day. Pretty common one for the low and mid stakes grinders out here. We have 9-10 off on the low jack. We're super deep. Admittedly, this is a little bit wide, just barely out of the range, but we did open it here. And we get called by the cutoff of 55 blinds and a semi-tight, kind of unknown. We have about 200 hands worth of history with this guy. He seems relatively tight, but not super tight. He does flat behind, and the blinds get out of the way. Flop is 10-7-9 with 2 clubs. We have 2 pair on a wet board. So our options are to check, to bet small, 340 chips, to bet a little larger with 415, or to bet really large with 776.
Looks like this is before pre-flop charts. It's only 1 pip off. It's not horrible. And it's a 1650. I have a pre-flop edge. Fuck it. That is funny. All right, what are you guys doing? Check, 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 check. We're looking for Baldy and Marlin. Baldy checking. Marlin checking. Everybody else shook. Check call, says Matt. Peanut Flush betting out of position. Lots of checking. Not Felicia Suerte. Not negative EV. Not Sway Skater. Oh, now bets are coming in. Here they come. Mostly betting. Too many draws here for it to go check, check. My only argument against that Skater die is that if you bet here, all those draws are calling anyway, and now you're on turn, out of position, in a bloated pot, multi-way, and have no idea where you're at. And you'll notice multi-way, like the middle seat checks a lot, the front seat checks even more. I don't know what I'm going to say in this quiz. This is so old, but definitely checking 100% here. Yeah, definitely checking. Let's do it.
I think we have to bet here.
Oop.
We have a strong hand. We also have a lot of turn
before the solvers.
Spot that's a little weird. So I want to get value from the straight draws, the flush draws.
Marlin check,
don't
Baldy
know
check.
if there's too many overpairs here because we didn't get raised free, but maybe some like pair and draw combos and things of that nature. So I'm going to bet here. I like to bet large because all the pair and draw combos, the club draw, 10x, all going to come along for a big, big bet here. So I like to go 2/3 pot. 776, I think, is a great bet. And we do get called in both spots. The turn is Gin. It is a 9, giving
pretty
us a full house
sweet
and a club. And our next decision point to check, to bet 3rd pot, 11-10, to bet 20-20, about 40%, or to plow it again with 25-22.
Yeah, so Well, we're going to bet some hands that need protection. I think this one needs less protection, 1. And 2, this is just going to be a 100% check today. 100% check today. So the interesting thing is I would give in the check 10 points today and the bet large something like 6 or 7 points. Toe 2020 for Sway Skater. Check for contrast pot for Matt. 2020 for a bunch of you. 2020, 2020. Bet the nuts. 2020, 2020 for praying. 2020, 2020. Lots of 2020s. Bigger bet for Money Shredder. 2020 for a 2015 quiz. 1100s for Rob and Baldy. Baldy going 11 and Marlon. What's Marlon doing? No word from Marlon yet. Marlon, 1100. Give him a great price to call. All right, cool. Matt says AC is calling. Most over clubs are block calling. All right. So first of all, Matt, let me correct you here. We're multi-way. You never have a pot size bet multi-way. All of your bet sizes are going to be square rooted and cubed because of the extra person in there, which means like your biggest bet size here is going to be 60% max. So there's that. The other thing too is like when you bet 60% here multi-way, the ace of clubs should never fucking be called. And you bet big on the flop and big on the scare card on the turn, which brings all the straights and the flushes in there. Like, these guys should be folding 90% of fucking range. So, with all that said, I don't know what I'm going to say in this quiz, because, like I said, this is pre-solver. But, and, you know, we've gotten a lot better over the last 3 or 4 years we've been doing this. This was like first month on the poker coaching team. So, I'm 100% checking. 100% checking. I need no protection. I want them to catch up. Hit a straight, please. Hit a fucking river club, please. And look at the stack to pot ratio, too. Like, it's a 33 out there, 58 in his stack, so easy to get this guy. 73's got 87, so, like, pretty easy to get chips from these guys. So I would 100% check here and try and get these guys to bet. Now, the question is am I check raising or check calling? Let me think about that, and we'll get back to it. But you guys all bet. So, who was this? Baldy and Marlon. Marlon said 1100. Baldy said 1100. Let's go.
I definitely don't want to check now that I've made essentially the nuts.
Likes to bet big.
I want to get value from the clubs that get there.
I still agree with no bet small.
Straights, pair and straight combos again, and then stubborn 10x hands. And so I definitely don't want to check. I definitely want to bet. If they're calling a large bet on the flop, they should be calling a large bet here. I think when we bet large, we narrow their range to 10x, something with an 8 in it, and then flush draws. And so I definitely want to try and get max value from those. So we bet the 25-22. 49 blinds goes away, but we do get called by the semi-unknown type player. And the river is the 4 of club. Last chance to make a decision. We can check now, bet small, 27.75, bet a bit larger at 5K, or put them all in.
All right, here we are in this whack-ass quiz. Do you ever check raising here when you check and then betting big on river? I'm probably check calling, honestly. And then this is a great card, right? They should be betting their flushes. Most of what they have is flushes, right? Look how far we've come. Yeah, I mean, this is not the greatest. This is super old. If another club goes, I'm done. How? I bet big twice. They have to have a club in their hand. You know, you have to get, yeah. Rip, jam. All in with the nuts. We be jamming. Praise ace of clubs. All in. Bet 5K and the player has 6K. All in, all in, all in. All in, all in, all in. So you can get their small stacks in on the river as opposed to turn and river. So facing much larger stacks, turn and river value bets are more favorable. Yes, I think with the larger stacks, certainly check raising turn is better. With the short stacks, I don't think we need to do that. All in, all in, all in. Who are we looking for? Marlin and Baldy. All in for Marlin. Baldy on everyone all in. Yeah, I think I'm just ripping here. I mean, we bet big twice. They got to have a club. Jam. This quiz is funny.
The idea here is definitely trying to get max value, checking a big mistake. We don't want to check and give them any reason to check behind. Time to get max value here for sure. We bet large on the flop. We bet large on the turn. They should have a ton of good clubs in their hand.
Jack 8 clubs.
Yeah, so I think,
you got Jack 8 clubs. Fuck it.
The best option, which we do. And they have the ace jack with the ace of clubs. Nut flush is no good. And we get a nice
I mean, the honest truth is
and take it down for 80 big blinds.
The truth of the matter is here is, one, this is low stakes, and two, this is back when I was a low stakes reg. So, all that said, you guys got a tie score too. But all that said here, the rip on the river is fine. When I bet the flop big into two people, ace jack with the ace of clubs, is super borderline because of my bet, what my betting range here is. It's crazy. So like super close. Might even start mixing some folds with the gut shot overs. When I bet the turn, the board pairs and the club comes in, this becomes a definite fold. So yeah. All right, let's go back to quizzes. Before we run it, we'll run one more. We'll combine the scores. This was 5, 5, 10 for both of you. Right. Yeah, where's the... This is a fun one. I remember this quiz. We'll do one more of mine. One of my oldies. This is a fun one. All right, let's do it.
Hey guys, this is a spot that I came across at a final table of a $50 5K freeze out online against a well-known live pro, Kelly Minkin. She was, I believe, the last woman standing in the main event. Might have been 2 consecutive years. I know there was 2 times total. She and I have been battling quite a bit leading up to this final table. And then again, here at the final table, you can see I'm in first place by a hair. She is in second place.
I'm not embarrassed.
The interesting thing here is that you can see everyone else at this final table is super short stacked. And we have a 3 blind stack, a bunch of 14 and 13 blind stacks, a 9 blind stack. And so there's some ICM considerations in this one. What do you think your best option here is? Should we check? Should we bet 30,000, a min raise? Should we raise it to 45,000? Or should we bet 55,000?
Interesting spot here. Interesting spot here. What is Matt saying here? Only thing is when you bet that big into 2 people and they call and you check turn, they check back a lot. Yeah, so. And then I just bomb the fucking life out of the river. Right? I want to keep them. I want them to catch up. So yeah. It's okay if they check back. And I think when it goes check, I think when it goes bet flop, check, 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 you're going to get more value on the river on your second barrel because they're going to think you're capped, right? Is this Ivy? Shit. He ain't got shit on the toe equity. So I fold, check, 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 check. You could jam her with ICM. She can't call, but I check here. Raise 45K. There he goes. Gets a little bit. Hey, what's up, Brian? Probably mix 3x raise here with some trash. Put pressure on chip leader. You get more value than max value? No. Don't mind raising this since we got position in the chip lead. Check, grab a sandwich. 3.5 or 35? Is that 35? Or 3.5x? I would check here more often than not. Shoving on into the cool. Who's the cadets? It's Marlon and Baldy. Marlon going 4,500. Baldy, or 45,000 rather. Baldy nowhere to be found. Baldy checking. Cool. So mid game, this is 100% a raise. You want to raise really polar. You want to raise with your best hands. You want to raise with your shittiest hands to try and get their limps, which are generally weak, to fold. So if I was looking at this today, I would consider raising this for short of 45. That said, I do that a lot less at final tables, where the chips you earn, the chips you save are more valuable than the chips you earn because of the ICM pressure we're talking about. And there's all these super fucking short stacks, and Kelly's good. She's going to have a decent clip of limp jams in this spot. So at the final table, I would check. Mid game, I would 100% go something like 45 to turn this hand that's always going to lose when we get to a flop into a hand that wins a good amount of clip when I raise and they fold, or they call and they fold to a C-bet. So I think we check here right now. Marlon went 45 and check for Baldy, and we got Marlon on the main. No, we got Baldy on the main screen since he's new. Fuck you, Marlon. And we'll go from there. Check.
So I think we have a few decent options here. Check.
I did raise here.
Totally standard, and it's okay.
I should have given this check a higher score.
Line to take. Min raising to 30,000, I think, is the least favorable option. I don't think we get
8 points for 45. I like these scores better.
I'm a fan of min raising from the blinds in general myself. Third option is 45,000 going 3x. I think this is decent. This is pretty okay. I tend to go slightly bigger when it's big blind versus small blind limps, because I think small blind limps tend to call wider and more often. I think we can, especially with the hand this week, we can disincentivize calls when we are weak like this by going slightly bigger, and we can get a little more value when we're raising with our strength in these spots as well, because I think people are overcalling in these spots in general. And so, yeah, my general theory for blind versus blind play here is I'm going to be raising with all my junky junk and raising with all my strength for value.
I like it,
too. In the middle, I'm going to check back a lot to try and play flops, things like 8-9 suited, where I don't want to raise and have Kelly come over the top and jam on me. Whereas if she does that here, I really don't care too much. So I do raise to the 55,000, and Kelly does make the call, and we get a flop of Queen 8-8 2 hearts. Do you like to check and just give up on the hand? Are you in favor of going 45,000, a little more than third pot? Are you in favor of going half pot, 61,500? Or are we bombing this pot with 2/3 pot at 92,000?
So I'm okay. I mean, the check was 5 points. I'd probably give it a 6 now if I had to score it now. Betting, like I said, with the junk. And the idea that we could put more pressure on here in ICM if she's been playing tight. I don't remember how she was playing in this tournament. This is a long time ago. But, yeah. I can like putting pressure on her. Sure. Cool. All right, here we go. We opened. Kelly called. We're on the flop. What do we do now? Dennis coming out with 45. Beats trolling. 45 for Stinky. 45 for Negative. 45 for Rob. 45 for Contrast. C-Stars 45. Baldy says bigger. 61.5. 45 for Machine Gun. Yeah, I like 45 here. I mean, sleep at small after raising is pretty standard. But really targeting air, right? If they've got air of any kind, any garbage, it just misses this completely. Random king high or something, right? They're just going to fold for a small bet. There's no reason to size up on this board. They either have it or they don't. So I like 45. Yeah, I'm down with 45. All right. Baldy sized up a little bit. Let's find out.
On a board like this, I think checking
45
back
good.
is not really a good option. I don't think we could just raise pre-flop and now give up. I think we have to rep some sort of hand. We're out here with 4 high. We have no showdown value. So I don't think checking is a good option. 61,000 is a okay option, half pot. 92,000 I think is a mistake. I just don't think we need to go super big here. They're going to come along with a queen, an 8, hearts, and then maybe some gut shots with a heart in it. And so we can just get the information we need now and get it done much, much cheaper. So I think we can get bet really small on this board. 45,000 would be my favorite option here. And so that is, in fact, what we do. And Kelly then does call. The turn card is the 10 of spades. Kelly checks again. Now we have another decision point here. Should we check and give up after Kelly calls the bet?
I like this quiz a lot
bet
better.
on the flop. Do you think we need to rep something here and bet about a third pot again with 71,000? Half pot bet is out there once again with 106,000. Or do you think we need to put some heat on this thing and bet 2/3 pot, 160,000?
All right. This quiz this is actually just a quiz. I'm all right with this quiz. I knew this was a good one. I remember this hand in this quiz. This is one of the first ones I did. It says, we're too invested. 71. $106 for Bob. Check. Turn hits her hard. Says Jack's bad hand. Maybe bet again since we are pre-flop aggressors. Says Skated Eye. All in for Sepayo going crazy. Baldy, time to slow down. You fired twice, got called. Check. Tough spot for Dennis, but he's betting. Giving up here, 15 bigs. This keeps me ahead of every other stacks. Looking for the machine gun. Check, give up for Deuterino. What's the machine gun doing? Shit size up here, 160. Make it painful for her if she jams, we fold. And so I have plenty of build about 160k. So machine gun going big and Baldy checking. Yeah, 100% checking here. When we raise pre, bet flop, and then the 10 comes on the turn, it's a bad card, right? All of their hands got there. Jack 9, Jack 10, King 10, King Jack picked up equity, we're never folding. Queen is good. Heart's not folding. Like, we just got to give up here. For sure. For sure. And we're at the final table. The chips you save, more valuable than the chips you earn. I could check here, be in second place, solid. If I get down to 160k, now I'm like kind of equal with these guys here. And we don't want that. So 100% checking. 100% checking. Done with the hand. Baldy checking. Machine gun going cray cray.
I think checking is the only option here. I think when we bet before the flop and then bet on the flop here, they're going to have a lot of Queen X, obviously, the 8, hearts, and then a lot of the hands that like might float us that had, you know, gut shots with the heart, things like Jack 10 and 9 10, maybe King 10 even with a heart, might float us for one to see what we do on the turn, and are probably not folding if we bet here. So I think checking is really the only way to go. So that is what I do. River is the 9 of hearts, and Kelly decides to check, and now we have our last decision point in this quiz. Should we be checking back and just giving up? Kelly's got to have something here. Should we be betting about half pot? Should we bet 2/3 pot here and really put some heat on it? Or is the best play to go all in with our 4 high?
All right. Check, check on the turn. Check, check on the river. So he says, fold. Too embarrassed to show the hand. Sneaky jamming. Good question, Skater Die. I asked you first. One-liner with a heart must restrain. Fold. Or check for Dennis. Check for negative EV. Check, but part of him wants to rip it, says Marlon. Baldy, what you doing, buddy? Contrast giving up. Trying to steal it here after her check. 160K. Lost too late. Should have bluffed the turn, says Seppa. Check muck, says Jax. Old mom would rip this. Skated Eye says, bluff it, pull the trigger. Yeah, I 100% agree with Skated Eye. Like, I was totally done with this hand. But let's think about this. Like, if they've got a jack, she's blocker betting for sure. If she's got a flush, she's betting for value for sure. If she has a queen, she's likely check raising flop because this board is super wet. And if she is, I mean, she's definitely check raising flop. Let's just say it that way. She is. So she's got no flush. She's got no jack. She's got no queen. Which means, and we have 4 high. Like, the only option is to jam. You get all her 10x to fold. You get her 8x to fold. You get any random 9x that got there to fold. So, for sure, jamming. 100% to get max fold equity. She's capped as fuck. As fuck. And we have no showdown. That's a mandatory bluff. Mandatory bluff. All in for Rob. Yes, 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 yes. The problem with the 107 and even the 160 is that you're going to get heroed by, like, you know, a 10 sometimes. The 160 a little less. If I had to score this today, I'd say 160. I'd probably give something like a 7. You know? But the 107 for sure. We don't want to do that. 10 just calls. And that's bad. So, yeah. Put on your big boy pants and punt this bitch. They capped. Go get her. Go get her. Marlon checked. And Baldy went 160. Let's go.
You know what's funny?
I think this 160 is a little jip. I would have given you like a 7 today.
I thought this hand was going to get taken away from me at some point. And I was looking at the tables and moving on to the next spot. When the 9 of hearts specifically comes on the river and Kelly still checks, we have to think about what range of hands does this, right? And so when that card comes on the river and she checks, we can eliminate the top of her range pretty easily, right? If she had a queen, she would have raised this on the flop, fearing the hearts and some straight draws and things like that. I think a raise there would definitely happen most often. If she had hearts that got the flush on the river, she's going to bet, trying to get value from an 8, a 10, a jack, a queen, maybe. Although I don't know that I check very many queens on the turn. If she has a jack, she's going to bet the straight for all the same reasons, trying to get value from an 8 and a 10. And so when she checks, she like almost always has air, which all of her floats that were like ace high and things like that still beat us. An 8 or a 10. And if we look at the stacks of the table with 3 blinds, 11 blinds, 9 blinds, 13 blinds, 14 blinds, it's catastrophic for her to lose now and bust before these super short stacks at a final table when the money outliers really start to matter, right? So we can put tons of ICM pressure on Kelly here. If we look at the stack to pot ratio right now, there's 213,000 in the pot. Kelly's only got 230,000 in her stack. I really, really want to make sure she's going to fold the 10 and fold the 8. And so I think jamming here is the best option, which is what I do. Kelly tanked for a while and folded. And we get it done with our 4 high, putting on that max pressure. And the key to this hand was really to check on the river. She never does that with the top of her range. And so we got to exploit that fact and use the ICM pressure to our advantage.
There we go. I like this one. This quiz was way better. Redemption quiz, because that one we did before this was fucking trash. I would change the scoring on this one. 160, I think it's worth more than 2 points. Checking was 4. I would actually probably give checking 2 points today, and 160 something like 7 points. This was a good one. So, Baldy, you won. You beat the machine gun by 1 point, 32 to 33. We combine all of the scores. Congratulations, Baldy. Send me a message and let me know how I can send you $5. And that is a wrap. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys. Hit the follow button if you haven't done already. And also, my partner Crazy Sixes will be back next week for sure. So give him a follow as well, because he the homie, and we love that guy. Exclamation point PC in. Oh, no. Let's do this. Exclamation point PC in the chat. If you get a link to sign up for free, you get 20 of these quizzes, big blind charts for 100 blinds or more, and some homework assignments, totally free. No pressure, no nothing, right? Then if you want to sign up for premium, there's like 2,000 of these quizzes, homework assignments, big blind charts, weekly webinars with these coaches live. You get to talk to them. So get involved in that. Exclamation point PC Discord if you want to get into the Pro Coaching Discord server, which is also free. Has 4 study groups a week. We do another one that's much more in depth than this with our partner Crazy Sixes on Thursdays at noon Eastern. And there's 3 other study groups a week with Luis Philippe. There's a hand history room. Get in there. There's giveaways. All that for free. Go get that free content. And lastly, if you like this one, you want to see this one from the beginning, or you want to see any of the ones we've ever done in the past, the ones with Crazy Sixes, the ones with a lot of guests. We've had Tristan Wade. We've had Matt Affleck. We've had Bet on Drew, Fat Train. We've had Fallon. We've had Lappy. We've had Ship Don't Die. We've had fucking everybody. We've had all kind of people. Greg Raymer, Jesse Sylvia, I don't know if I named those guys already. Faraj Jaka, all those guys. If you want to check any of those out, there's a link to the YouTube channel. I appreciate you. We're going to throw the raid to the usual Mr. Poker Bras. And that is a wrap from me. I'll see you guys next week. Peace.